Hey, good morning, y'all. Jesus is still Lord, thank God. I'm so glad Jesus is the Lord and that the government's not in control. God is. And thank God the Word works. I've been talking to you now for a couple of weeks on you're snared by your words. You have what you say. Jesus said, speak to the mountain, tell it to be removed. In the book of Hebrews, chapter 3, forget the verse, it says that Jesus is the high priest of your confession. Now, the King James says profession, but it's better translated confession. Now, he no longer has to go in and shed his blood on the mercy seat. He did that once and for all. But he's still the high priest. But he's the high priest of my confession, or what I say. Going to teach this today. It's pretty strong, so I hope you're sitting down and want to get a hold of this. The high priest in the Old Testament went in and laid the blood, made a sacrifice for the sins of Israel. Jesus did that once and for all for us, but he's the high priest of our confession. So we're going to go over here to the book of Matthew, chapter 10. I want you to get this. Get your religious mind turned off and get ready to receive your blessing. In verse 32, Jesus said, whosoever therefore shall confess me before men, him will I confess also before my Father which is in heaven. But, verse 33, whosoever shall deny me before men, him will I also deny before my Father which is in heaven. Read that for years, had a little trouble understanding it. So I got my old Greek concordance out one day. Now we use a computer, but back in those days it was a Strong's concordance. Got to looking that up and studying that. So let me show you what this says. Whosoever therefore shall confess me before men, him will I confess before my Father which is in heaven. The word confess is homologio, H-O-M-O-L-O-G-I-O, homologio. That word literally means say the same thing as. So I'm going to read it with that way. Whosoever therefore shall say the same thing that I say before men, him will I say also the very same things that he says before my Father. Woo, let me read that again. Whosoever shall say the same thing as Jesus said, by his stripes you were healed. Jesus said, I bore your sicknesses and carried your diseases. So if you will say what Jesus said about your situation, then it says, then him will I say what he says before the Father. Now, you know Jesus is not going to go up before the Father and say, Frank's sick. Frank said he's sick. What Jesus is saying there is, I can't say that. God meets my needs, wealth and riches are in my house, so if I go before the Father and say, I'm broke, I ain't got no money, Jesus can't say that. So get a hold of this confession stuff. He's the high priest of what you say. And if you say what Jesus said here on the earth before men, I'm healed by the stripes of Jesus. I don't care how I look, don't care how I feel, I'm healed by the stripes of Jesus. If you'll say that before men, then Jesus said he's going to say the same thing before his Father. So you get up in the morning and say, bless God, I'm healed. And he's going to say, Father, Frank says he's healed. Well, if any two of us agree, me and Jesus and the Father, if any two of us agree, it shall be done. And Jesus himself said, where two or three of us are gathered together, then I'm in the midst of them. So he's the high priest of what you say. He ain't going to say what you say when you're talking negative. Let me read the rest of that because I want you to get that. But, he said, verse 33, whosoever shall not say what I say, same word, same Greek word, homologio. So whosoever shall deny me before men. See, people say, well, you know, you go around talking ugly and denying what God's done for you and all that stuff. No. If you will not say what he said about your healing, then he cannot say what you said before the Father. I want to read it out of the King James. But whosoever shall deny me before men, him will I also deny before my Father which is in heaven. Now, I want you to get this. Somebody says, well, I never want the Lord to deny me, but that old dog car that I got, it's a piece of junk. Jesus is not going to say that. But you're going to have to change your words, realizing he, Jesus, is the high priest, Hebrews chapter 3, of your confession, my confession. So I'm going to go out there and say, my car's a blessing. I'm going to say that before men. I don't care if they hear me or not. Because you see, Jesus is going to say what I say. Now watch this. Pat and I, in just a little bit, you know, we had breakfast this morning, and here in about another half hour, when she gets things cleaned up in there, we're going to go to the grocery store. And like I always do, I said, "Are you ready to go? Go where? We're going to go to the grocery store." You say what you're going to do before you do it. I think I'll go to the grocery store, and we're going to do that. Well, I've got some other place I'm going to take her she don't know about yet, but we're going to go do those things, but I say it before I do it. Well, Jesus is the high priest of what I say if I say what he says. And so when like I say, I'm going to the grocery store, I'm also going to say, I'm healed by the stripes of Jesus. My body's well. Dear God, I'm walking in divine health. And then he will say, Frank's going to the grocery store. Frank's needs are met, and Frank is healed because he's going to say what I say before the Father which is in heaven. But if I get up and say, oh, I just feel terrible. Dear God, I feel so bad. I think I'm sick. Dear Lord, sick, dear sick. And broke, dear Lord, broke, and my car's a piece of junk, they ain't got no gas in it either. Jesus is not going to say that because he's going to honor what I say. And so he's going to say the good things that you say before the Father. You need to get that. You start thinking about that, you'll change your confessions to only confess good things: healing, divine health and wealth, money, abundance, joy, peace. Talk about the good things of life rather than the junk. I'm so blessed with my family. I've had people write me a little note say, I'm tired of you saying that. Yes, but I'm going to keep saying it because Jesus is the high priest of my confession, and he's going to say what I say because that's what he said in Matthew chapter 10. Got to go. Remember, you're snared by your words. Make them good words. So until I'm with you tomorrow, saints, remember, Jesus is Lord. Thank God the word works.